now we're going to move on to lighting the candles. So I invite our two allocated people, if they remember who they are, to come up and light the candles to welcome in Shabbat.
And tonight we're not just welcoming in the Shabbat, but we're also welcoming a Yom Tov, the seventh, the last day of Pesach for some of us. Some of us will have two last days. Sorry if that's you, and you have to eat matzah for a day longer. But yeah, so join us as we bring in, and we're nearly at our experience of freedom.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת של יום טוב.
I'll also now invite Jane up to give some TBI announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank
Shabbat
you.
Shalom.
Welcome and thanks for all of the Netzer crew for this, what's already started to be a very beautiful service and a lovely way to end the week and to end Pesach. A few announcements for TBI. Please join us tomorrow. There's the seventh day, the final day of Pesach Shabbat morning service, and then there's a Havdalah online at 7:50. We're wishing long life, and our thoughts are with those who have come to remember a loved one. And just if anyone's looking for some learning, the Melton course, Love, Loss and Wisdom, starts in April on the 21st. So please check out the website, you might be interested. Another lovely thing is the Giro Library is once again open. It's here upstairs, and whenever the TBA office is open, you're welcome to come. There's lots of wonderful, interesting scholarly books and things to read, so anytime you'd like to come and have a look. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we've reached the Lecha Dodi, the part of our service where we welcome the Shabbat bride. And I use this...
Yeah.
And I like to bring this in a lot when we're running the service and look at the origins of the Kabbalat Shabbat ceremony. And the origins of that, for those who don't know, is it dates back to the Kabbalist in Tzfat. I've done this drill a lot. I'm sorry if you've heard it before. But we start on Tzfat in this old city, and we bring it in, and we see the beauty around us. And for Lecha Dodi, the Kabbalist would run down into the meadow, down this massive mountain, and welcome the Shabbat bride, the joy, the oneg of Shabbat with all their hearts. So we, together, I hope that tonight we can embody the energy, the ruach of the Kabbalists as we turn to page 64 for Lecha Dodi. If you don't know this melody, it's from Nava Tehillah. It's super catchy. Pick it up quickly, or sing Lailas if you don't know.
Top of page 16 to guitar players.
Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה
Face the door. Boi v'shalom, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי
לקראת כלה, ונשמה לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ונשמה לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ונשמה
And now we move to the next page 66 for the Mizmor Shir, the Psalm of Shabbat.
Page 19, paper 2. Okay.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר הסליחה, 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 ואמונתך בלילות. עלי יעזוב ועליך היגיון וחידון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני,
last one. Le'akid ki Yashar Adonai, le'akid ki Yashar Adonai, le'akid ki Yashar Adonai, le'akid ki Yashar Adonai.
Suri velo abatabo, suri velo abatabo, suri velo abatabo. Suri velo abatabo, suri velo abatabo, suri velo abatabo.
Thank you for dancing with me. You have to do it. You feel the joy of Shabbat and you have to express it, otherwise what's the point? But now we move to the middle of the next page and we're going to sing Mikolot Maim Rabim. And I think it's very appropriate singing Mikolot tonight, especially because Mikolot talks about the water and our voices and how our voices are like the water, and using those voices we can pray and celebrate. And also, as the last day's Pesach, we read that we're making it through the sea. We're nearly there. We're nearly celebrating and experiencing freedom. And we do that through the water as we sing like the water. Give it all you got.
That's it.
So that we've now finished the Kabbalat Shabbat section, the receiving of Shabbat. As we transition into the Mariv, we begin by singing our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, on page 69. And we will rise and face the ark. The minor. Please be seated. Okay, as we move into the Ahavat Olam, about everlasting love, before we do that, and we praise and celebrate our love for each other, our love for Torah, our love for God, our love for community, I want you to add things. So if you have anything you want to share that you love, just shout it out.
Matzah!
Sure, get out.
Education.
Yeah.
Sprout.
Netzer, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Torah u'mitzvot, u'mishpatim, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשכבנו, ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, כי הם חיינו, לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומן וליל, נגי יומן ולילה. אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
Gidol.
So we've made it to the Shema. Now, the Shema, I think, is especially special tonight because, as I said earlier when it was just the Netzer Bogrim, but I'll repeat it for everyone else, is this tonight is the first time since the beginning of 2020, since the whole federal Netzer body has come together. And so I think it's a really, really beautiful notion as we sing the Shema, as we cry and yell and express the oneness of God, we too can look at the oneness that we create as a community, as Netzer, as a progressive Jewish community, and as leaders and members of the Jewish community everywhere.
It's Netzer tradition for you to choose whether you'd like to sit or stand during this prayer, but we ask that if you do stand, you remain standing for the thereafter as well. Now would be the time to rise.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווה לך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת רם שבטך וביתך ומלאכתך בדרך ובשוכבך וקומך וקשרת מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך ובצאתם מזוזות ביתך בשעריך הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. So we now turn to page 76 for the Micha Mocha. And the Micha Mocha is relevant when we say it in our Mariv every single day. But tonight it has another meaning, because the Michamocha comes from the place in the Torah. We begin our exodus running away from the Egyptians. We make it through, the sea splits, the Israelites get through, and they're free. And Miriam, out of pure joy, out of a true sense of freedom, comes, and she just can't help it but to express the words of Michamocha. So in the spirit of the last day Pesach, of making it through the sea, of making it to our freedom, we're going to sing it to the tune of Velvet Sea. On page 76.
In the velvet sea, whoa. I've been waiting 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 in the Ikamocha, Vaelim Adonai. Nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef elef, nora tehilot, osef elef. I've been waiting in the velvet sea, whoa. 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 I've been waiting in the.
We've reached it. We've reached the Amidah. And we have, on Pesach, we talk about the Pesach sacrifice, how they used to express their gratitude to God. But since the evolution of the oral law and us realizing a lot of issues with sacrificing, prayer has become our expression of thanks, our expression of connection, our expression of spirituality. And so the Amidah is the part of the service that's meant to be there to fulfill what we used to do through sacrifice, but now instead it can do through the power of our words. So tonight, we're going to sing the first verse, the Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, and then I invite you to either read through the Amidah, including the bits for Chag, or take a moment to reflect, to think about the week, to think about what you're grateful for, who you want to thank, why you want to thank them. So I invite you to rise and face the ark, and when you're finished, turn back in and we'll all sit down together. No, we're doing
Please be seated. Trying to find it. No. We're running over time, guys. I'm the only one who's concerned for the time. We now invite up Mr. Ben Creaser to give a drush for this week. Wow. 7. Okay.
Hey everybody, hope you guys are having a wonderful sprout. I'll be up front with you guys. When I got told I had to write a drush, I was really nervous. I mean, seriously nervous. Such a simple task I was given. Ultimately, my head comprehends it in a very different way, the same way we comprehend everything differently as human beings. So when I was told, do you want to write the drush, I heard, Ben Creaser, you're writing the drush. You're going to be the voice of the drush for the entire room, the entire Jewish community in the southeast of Melbourne, and it is your responsibility entirely. Do not screw this up. So yeah, tough week. I can't even get my kippah on. But yeah, here we are. So this drush, I wanted to talk about music. When and why we use it, the way in which we use it, and basically how it's still tribal and biblical today in the way we use music. Music creates a vibe, a completely different social environment, and can be done with the change of a song. If you were to look at my recent musical preferences, you'd see classical music like Beethoven next to genius music like Kanye West. And And that is next to Fiddler on the Roof soundtrack. Yeah, basically different music for different vibes for different times in our life. Whether we are helping ourselves up before a sports game, on next account doing Dim, or Shirim, or studying, there are songs that we relate the circumstances we are in. Within this Pasha, we read about the crossing of the Red Sea. Moses puts out the staff, and God's almighty power, water bends the sea. And the Jews walk through the Red Sea and flood the Egyptians behind us to escape. Exodus at last. After we cross the sea, we, the Jews, are not slaves anymore. Yeah? Then the Israelites sing Shirat Hayam, or the song at the sea. This poem appears in the Torah and is repeatedly sung in safety and looking toward the future of the Israelites beyond. Yeah? Let the celebrations begin. It is an incredibly festive song, and the select lines from the song are paraphrased very well in the song When You Believe from the 1998 critically acclaimed film The Prince of Egypt. As the lines translated in the song go, I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. Who is like you in the heavens, O Lord? Who is like you, glorious in holiness? In your mercy, you lead the children you have redeemed. In your love, you lead the people you redeemed. I will sing, I will sing, I will sing. Yeah? My first memory in my entire life was watching the 2005 AFL Grand Final. I was 4 years old, and Leo Barry takes this amazing mark to win the game. I was so happy. I was screaming and celebrating like a crazy 4-year-old should. I celebrated very hard that day. My family put on the Swans theme song all day, and I sung and sung and sung. Yeah, but obviously, I can't really compare the celebrations of my team to the celebrations of escaping centuries of enslavement and the pursuit towards a brighter future for our people. Or can we? I feel like it's important to consider celebratory music is essentially biblical. Yeah? We do it not only because it feels good to celebrate with music, but because we've been doing it for millennia. Yeah? It is in our blood that when our football team sings, we sing the theme song. When we have a birthday, a bar mitzvah, or a wedding, or any monumental occasion in your life, there is celebration with music. It has always been a part of our life as it is what we know. Yeah, even after Shabbat ends on camp, we do Havdalah, and when camp ends, we sing the Netzeh song. So next time you put on music to celebrate, remember you are doing as ones have before you. Now that I've finished the drash, I know I will celebrate with music coming now. Thank you very much.
On that note,
So we're going to move in to a closing prayer on the theme of Exodus, on the theme of freedom and celebration, and looking towards our messianic era, looking towards the perfect world, the Olam Metukan. We're going to sing Al Kain instead of the Aleinu, or which is actually the beginning of like the second paragraph of the Aleinu.
and we invite you to boogie with us.
On bottom of page 144.
We cordially invite you to boogie.
Ish. And yeah, I expect all of you to follow Maddie and my dance moves. Let's go. Stand, clap. Malchut Shaddai, don't die, and really
Shai dai 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 dai. Shai dai 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 dai. Dai 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 dai. Dai 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 dai. Shai dai 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 dai. Dai 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 dai. Dai 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 dai.
Wonderful. You can be seated.
I'm going to hand over to Are you doing the morning study?
Yes.
Good one.
Where you go?
Shabbat Shalom, and I'd like to, on behalf of Temple Beth Israel, say a huge thank you to all of Netzer and Sprout for leading this evening's service. You will find us with Kaddish Hatom on page 146, 146. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This evening, we especially think in a period of Shiva, we think of Margaret Bentley, Valerie Falk, Margaret Heslev, Gertrude Spicer, and Harry Wissokier. And in a period of Shloshim, we think of Gabby Bader, Sherry Glaser, Esther Horesti, Isaac Ibn Levine, Elliot Levitt, Betty Licensblatt, John Michaels, Racheli Paz, Marlene Pereira, Susie Tidor, George Tippett, and Fred Trim. In addition, we remember this week the yahrzeits of Heinz Abrams, Roger Bancroft, Ralph Barnett, David Bayer, Theodore Bihari, Margot Eager, Sylvia Finch, Leah Fradkin, Morris Glass, Bronya Hahn, Moshe Hahn, Hella Hurling, Eskel Hyman, Bernard Goldman, Lou Green, Ruth King-Smith, Marianne Klempfner, Norma Krasnostein, Don Lawrence, Hilda Leader, Dvorah Marks, Renee Mendes da Costa, Paul Podgers, Edith Pulver, Ken Rossdale, Leah Rivich, Olga Siegel, Coco Solomon Jaffe, David Schulemroth Sonnenberg, Naftali Henry Sonnenberg, Rachel Sonnenberg, Gordon Stanton, Karl Velish, Ronald Yep, Joseph Samsky, and Joel Zayons. If there are other names that you would like to add, please include them either in the chat, online, or if you have a name that you would like to add here in the sanctuary, please do so as I look around the room. In addition, we remember those who died in the shootings in America over the past week. And also we think of the 2.8 million plus who have died to COVID over the past year. Zichronam livracha, may their memories truly be for a blessing as we join together on page 147 in the Netzer Prayer Book or 598 in Mishkan Tefillah. Please rise. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעל מה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילה מנכ"ל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, לאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, and to all of humanity. And we say, amen. Amen.
And we will do two more things before we end our service. The first is the counting of the Omer. So for those who aren't aware, the Omer is this period that begins on the second day of Pesach, and we count down all the way 49 days, and on the 50th day we reach Shavuot, we receive the Torah, and each night it's tradition to count the night of the Omer we are at. Tonight's the 6th night of the Omer? Yes? Yes, thank you. Okay, so the bracha starts like all other brachot and ends with Al Sfirat HaOmer. Please join in. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al Sfirat HaOmer, hayom yom shisha yamim la'omer. Today is the 6th day of the Omer. And we will conclude.
Before we conclude, just a couple quick Netzer announcements. Yay. Just a reminder, we have our Tiyul running from the 9th to the 11th. Last chance to sign up for our seniors. We'd love to have you. We also have no Sunday program running this week, unfortunately, but we do have an upcoming program on April 18th. Running from 3 to 5 at our usual time. That will be a bit of a movie afternoon and an intro to camp where we will reveal the camp theme. It's very exciting. So,
Netzer song.
we hope to see you all there, and we'll close out this wonderful Netzer service with the Netzer song. Yeah, let's stand. It feels right. It feels right. It feels right.
I'm going to make it
That's such a great question. What, the last? Anyone know what page? The Port Noise Wind, 154.
עובדים ביחד ומקדם ומתחזק, העולם צריך להיות מוכן לקבל. תנועת נצר פשוט מחשמל, יד הגשמה בישראל, וואו 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 וואו, אנחנו החלוצים של נצר. אנחנו החלוצים של נצר. אז נבז עולם, ותצעד תיקון עולם. ואז נצעד בדרך אל האושר. ואז נצעד בדרך אל האושר. כי נתחרחנו יחד מההתחלה. וואו, אנחנו נוער עם יכולת ועוצמה. וואו, סוללים את הדרך לעלייה. שמנו נצר, וואו וואו וואו, דבר נפלא, וואו וואו וואו, נשיר ביחד שפריכה, וואו 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 וואו, אנחנו החלוצים של נצר, אנחנו החלוצים של נצר, אז עולם ותצעד תיקון עולם, ואז תצעד בדרך אל האושר, ואז תצעד
And once in English,
we are the pioneers in Netzer. We are the pioneers in Netzer. Know yourself, help the people, and create Tikkun Olam. And we'll march along the path of happiness. And we'll march along the path of happiness.
thank you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Chag
Thank
Sameach. We invite you to join us for the Kiddush. Yeah.
We invite you to join us for the Kiddush.
We invite you to join us for the Kiddush.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Let's get crunk.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we rise for the Kiddush. This will be a little different because it's for both a Chag and for Shabbat. But here we go.
Take it away.
ויערב ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחול השמיים וארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל עם, ורוממנו מכל לשון, וקידשנו במצוותיו, ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו, בהבה שצות למנוחה ומועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון, את יום השבת הזה ואת יום חג המצות הזה, זמן חירותנו, מקודש זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיוונו בך ואותנו קידשת בכל העמים, בשבת ומועדי קודשך, באהבה וברצון בשמחה ובששון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת וישראל והזמנים. לחיים. We take the matzah and we say, אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחיים לארץ ארץ. אמן. שבת שלום, חג שמח. You go.
Looking forward to the challah.
Yeah.
I didn't say no.
You ain't getting challah.